later. We don't get shares executed very easily, so can't really be too frustrated with it. I wish I had the extra 2,000 shares or 3,000 shares that I wanted on it, but I mean, I put my limit at 327 and it blew right through 325, 326, and 327 with no fills. So there's nothing I can do. So I know, where is the actual breakout level on the daily chart? I'm going to cancel this. Make sure I'm not crazy. So yeah, 328, 329 were the key levels. But like I said, when the stock does this much work right below the breakout level, I'm not waiting for the breakout level at that point. I'm slapping that, quote unquote new breakout level, which is right here at 315 was the best one by far. Once it held for another 30, 40 minutes, I was really convicted there. I didn't like it up here in the first hour or two of the day, but I really like that this 1 p.m. ish, even though it's a little bit midday.
Small really size. That move.
Really struggling there. So that was what I would call the new breakout level. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we need to get to like 3.4, 3.5 before it gets to 10%. I don't know. I'm not very good at math. But once this thing hits the 10% gainers of the end of day volume scanners that everybody's created, they're going to look at this daily chart. It's a really nice breakout. We're in way early. Nate from IU is long. Okay, that's how you know it's money. Yeah, so this is a pretty nice little chart. I probably am playing it too safe, not adding some shares in the high 3.2s and maybe even the low 3.3s, but I'm just not. I just don't like getting too top heavy. If I don't get any shares on it, I get the 3,000 share single. I mean, that's still a 10,000 share or dollar position. I can't really complain too much. That's solid. See, that's why I like what we got going here, because we're just all over this all day long. We've been over it for 2 or 3 days now. I'm waiting for that stock, and then all of a sudden here comes everybody talking about it, and that's the best way to do it. We were long way before everybody else. 3.38 will be 10%. Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking right before that 3.4. That's perfect. I would love to see another dip come back down. I would love to see 3.28, 3.27, but I'm not sure what we'll get, if anything. But these random balls of spikes, and then they just die off. Volume just completely gets destroyed, and we didn't really sell off at all. So not exactly sure what to make of that quite yet, but we'll see. Yeah, I like when the investor underground is longing OTCs. You don't get that too often. It's kind of like when Gritani's long an OTC. It's time to ride the wave there. That guy's insane. So we didn't get the dip that I was looking for here, and I mean we did kind of, but not in the fashion that I was anticipating. So I'm going to be expecting a dip here. I really am. Probably below the breakout level. I do not expect this to hold the breakout level. I think we're a little bit too top heavy here. Not enough consolidation, not enough solid support. It just feels like we're a little bit unbalanced here. So I am ready for a dip. I'm prepared for that. So I'm not too unhappy about not getting executed, but I'm just going to try to keep the mind right and not fuck this up. First day of the month, any single I'm ready to take and just start it off right. But of course, I want to swing this position regardless. And I'm going to learn more from the bid side here than I am from the ask side, I would imagine. So I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for any signs on the bid and just soaking. I know NITE Market Maker was kind of soaking that 324-ish level, but I don't know. I like how safe Jack's playing this play. That's probably a little too safe for my taste, just because it is a perfect breakout. Maybe not perfect, just because we have overhead resistance. But we've talked about this before, where we have this massive run and bag holders stuck at the top, and then we have these multiple pops for them to sell into, and they especially this one here. And especially this one here. This one got sold into very hard when they realized that was going to act as resistance. But now that we've tightened up pretty good, This is the soda can to a T here, and I expect this to, with some consolidation here, just because the daily looks great doesn't mean that intraday is going to follow suit just because that's the way it looks. I mean, this is pretty overextended. Not a lot of consolidation here. I don't really call this consolidation. I call this consolidation. This is kind of choppy, trying to figure itself out. It's very loose. I like very tight, very nice movement there. So we'll see what this is capable of today. I wouldn't be surprised if this didn't actually reach 3.4 or 3.5 today, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it did too. 3.3 held really convincingly there. And this could definitely be an add into the close as well. It just depends. Can you guys hear me all right too, by the way? This is my first stream from the new place. I'm trying to make sure this is all working the way it's supposed to. I'm not super positive that it's all perfect. Okay, good. I'm finally all pretty much all moved in. Now it's just time to get settled and get my shit together, clean it up a little bit. It's nice to be done moving. That was actually part of the reason why I spent such little time in front of the screens last month. Housewarming party, hell yeah. Hell yes. That'd be pretty dope to do that someday without all this COVID shit happening. Paid by okay, yeah, no kidding. This thing goes to 3.8, dude. You guys can all just come on over whenever. That's right, JC. Me and JC gotta hook up. He's not very far away. He's only like a 2, maybe 3 hour drive. Cali. Me, Kyle Williams, and JC all out here in California. I'm in SAC. JC's in Oakland. And then Kyle's down in San Diego. So we're all pretty damn close to each other. So here's that dip that I was hoping for and looking for. Definitely did not anticipate this breakout level holding by any means, like not even close. This is something that I didn't understand for a long time. Once the breakout, everybody says, breakout level should act as support. And in certain cases, it should. I think something like this down here, if you're looking at the screen at all, this morning consolidation from 315 to 313, 312-ish, that's something that I would anticipate to hold as support because it has such a good foundation already. There's nothing here that I have to there's nothing really here holding it up for long term. This is not close enough to the breakout level here. I got to hop off for just a second. I got to take this phone call. I'll be right back.
Stop's gonna be 319. You see it, 2 bounces there for 319. My interest 315. So if I did have to take a loss on it, it would be break even. That's why I didn't really want to add, because I guess I could have added. I don't know. My original thoughts were I didn't really want to take a loss after I'm already up, but that's not the right way to go about it. It's more about, just I could get a new $50 risk. Just buying here at 25 or 26, risking 19. That's what I should have done.
Back up a little bit, but I'm not sure if that's going to hold. We're looking pretty weak, but this is what this thing does. It dips pretty hard. And this is what happens. This is why I never want these things to get too overextended, because then the breakouts are choppy and then it gets a little bit gross and hard to trade. This is not surprising to me whatsoever. Not even a little bit.
Nope, not surprising at all. Looks like that was the ad right there.
Yeah, I'm not the best at sitting through some of this chop fest, but hey, we're doing a pretty good job on the bid side to protect what we got going so far. Nice job. 25,000 shares at 325, which doesn't necessarily surprise me. It's pretty somewhat decent support, nothing crazy. I actually got my full fill there at 326, which is pretty cool. So I'm up to 5,000 shares, and I'll be risking that 3.2 area, and that's my average right now. I might even add some more shares on. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, I liked what I just saw there. Not bad. Not bad ads there. So my average moved up on those ads to 3.2. Pretty solid. Right back up to my risk level. So I'm essentially risking break even or very minimal profits in their money at all. And that's kind of been my MO lately, is I'm not taking a ton of risk on. I know what my ultimate risk level is. If I have to cut it quickly or if it completely fails, I know what to do. But I've been able to really do a good job of not having to take my full losses just because I have a good feel for the market. And I legitimately only worked about 1-2 hours a day, I think, max. There were days that I saw in the morning what was going on. I checked in, I left immediately, came back for the last hour, saw nothing, and was on for like 10 minutes for the whole day, and back and just dipped. That's the only way for me to keep myself from making shitty trades and, losing to my FOMO and my boredom. So I do what I got to do. I'm just steady Eddie. I don't really have these massive 20, 30, 40K months. I don't have these negative, couple $100 months or $1,000 months. I've just kind of maintained my pace, and that probably comes from me trading so cautiously all the time and not really veering too far away from my process. It was fun reading all the stuff that you guys talked about yesterday, though. Just kind of what you learned in the month, how you did for the month. I like doing that. Everybody's got a different process. Everybody's got different things to work on, but sometimes I actually learned a lot just by reading some of the monthly recaps from better traders than myself when I was still learning. Yeah, not a bad little job there on the dip. So I was able to average pretty good. Yeah, and I don't mind this area for a small ad at all. And if we lose 3-2, like the low 3-2s today, like I said, I will cut that because that is terrible price action. Breaks out, I would say that's a complete failed breakout, and comes all the way back down. The play is not completely dead. We could easily get a move through, um, through the 3-3s up to the mid threes sometime this week or next week. But I'm not sitting through some shit price action like this. That's not what made me successful. I'm not going to sit here and hold through massive dips where I'm all of a sudden red. I'm going to look for the price action that I know and I'm comfortable with. That would be below VWAP as well. It just is not. That's another job right there. We just nice foundation build, and then we completely destroyed it all the way back down to 325. So we could hold 325 and be fine as well, but I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm no longer believing this nice bid support that it keeps showing at 325, 326. I'll need a nice move back to the breakout level before I believe that. Besides that, I got absolutely nothing on watch. This is a fun one to talk about, though. FPVD. This is the kind of stock chart that, when I was still learning how to trade OTCs, was destroying me, because when this dip finally holds, my mindset was that, okay, dip holds. I think this can make a new high at some point in the day. The more I've traded these things, and the more I've gotten a feel for stock charts like this. I mean, this thing's exhausted from this move. It tried a high a day attempt, got stuffed pretty good in the eights, came back down pretty hard, pretty big dip. This is a lot of work here in the first half of the day. So when this thing does hold and you get this nice dip from the sixes to the sevens and like actually all the way up to 8 almost, this is the move. And this is where I'd be locking in my gains. This is what I was struggling with last month, or not last month, the month before, was I was sizing in here and I was risking all the way down here, even though my move had already happened. This is the move right here. This is the predictable part of the move. If you've watched any of Huddy's videos about the specific move that he knows the best, it's not the entire breakdown of the stock. It's after it comes down, goes red, and then bounces back towards green red. That's the move that he understands. This is the only move that makes sense to trade, in my opinion. And if this thing wants to break out to the 9s or the 10s, you trade this predictable bounce here after the nice bid support, the VWAP reclaim, et cetera, and then you reload on the move end of day if it really does prove itself that long and that well. I fully expected this to fail. I did not expect this to get through high a day. That's why I didn't trade it. This is not my bread and butter pattern right here whatsoever. There's no catalyst that I was aware of personally. And when I'm not aware of a catalyst, I assume that majority of people are not aware of the catalyst. So that's why I stayed away. But this was a nice, fairly predictable single on the higher low through VWAP. You get that low sixes, 6-1, 6-2, 6-3, and sell it into 7-3, 7-4, 7-5. Ideally, that would be my interpretation of this play. I'm just not feeling LK today. I just don't feel like it's going to do what we want it to do. Anybody else feeling that way? It's definitely trying, and I'm trading it because of the chart. I'm trading it because it had a recent pattern. I'm trading it because it's a bread and butter setup for me, but I'm just not, I don't know, I'm not confident in this. Volume is just not impressive. But goddamn, they are resilient on the bid, just trying to protect that 325. Like I said, I learn a lot more from the bid side than I do the ask.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here. The volume is still not impressive, and it's not scaring me away whatsoever. And they're still working their ass off to keep it at above that 325. But my gosh, this would be a pretty fun base to add into if we were to get that move through. We need a better base at 326. And look at that, all the way through. Very nice work on the bid side. I really did doubt that pretty hard. I thought we were going to see a nice breakdown of 325, but they did a nice job there. I'm still not in a rush to be buying any more shares. I'm pretty comfortable with my 5,000 shares. That's the safest entry right there. If you didn't take the midday long, I like that. It's not the most. The win percentage is not the highest by any means, but at least it's a somewhat safe and reasonable entry. It's not going to be a bad loss if it doesn't hold these gains here. That's just one of those plays where if it doesn't work out, you won't make money. And for myself, if it doesn't work out today, I'm probably making a little bit of money and or taking a small loss, smaller than most. But this wasn't necessarily easy. I've done a pretty good job staying away from midday myself, and I just took it because of the setup was so perfect. I'll take a really solid breakout any time of day, any day of the week. This is a pretty solid breakout. And I'm treating 315 like the breakout level. I'm trying to find it. What stock was it? Was it KNOS that did this? Something like this? What day was this that it did this nice move? Had to have been here. So long ago. Remember. Are there any other tickers that you guys are watching for breakouts or for potential moves that I just either haven't seen or haven't talked about yet? I don't think there is. And TTHF. Yeah, that's not bad. It's a lithium play. Makes sense. It's actually a pretty good find. I'm not very good at trading these illiquid tickers, though. I've never been good at it. I've never been good at it at all. Where are they long from? Early morning trade through, I don't know, 6.4, 6.5, or the end of day at 71, 73. Yikes, I don't know about that one. Probably works out, honestly. It probably works out. That's not my favorite entry, though. I will not be taking it up here this high up, far off the highs. But those guys are pretty good at some. Like I've seen them trade a lot of these random ticker names, so they do a pretty good job of them. Would love to see a higher low here, 326 hold, and a next move up back through 3.3. That would be convincing as hell. Not sure we'll get that or not, though. Arca's got some hidden size there too. I might even have to just risk 325. I might have to just do it. All this work, and we're just going to keep breaking down further support. I don't know. It feels like the wrong risk, though. I don't think I can do that. I think the risk has got to be 319 for me. But this is not good price action by any means. It's warranted because we're overextended. That's why I'm not necessarily eager to get out. This is why I hate price action like this. Absolutely hate it. Nice little end of day drop here. Plenty of time to bounce back. It's hard to pick risk levels below above VWAP. It is challenging to pick risk levels above VWAP because technically the stock is still very much intact above VWAP. That's why I'm sitting here, even though I'm giving up a lot of my unrealized gains back to break even. And this is why I don't get too top heavy on a stock that is top heavy in itself. This looks fucking terrible though. I took half my position off, which was my ads, and I'm just gonna give it my I'm gonna give my second half of my position my initial risk at 312 ish. If this wasn't a breakout play, I would definitely be out my entire position, but I want to see what it does here because this is what I anticipated in the mid 3.2s, and it's what I anticipated in the mid 3.3s. We did not get it in the mid 3.2s, so this is kind of happening all at once. I don't want to sell into the overreaction unless it gets so ugly that it's completely toast. Arca must have a fuck ton of shares to get off too, because they cannot get off the bid, or they cannot get off the ask anywhere. Trying to get some shares off here because I'm done with it, but I'm just not. They're not filling me much. This is just getting ugly. It's gonna full on panic into the close. It's not worth my money. There we go. All right, so I am flat for the. Actually, this is probably the biggest loss I've taken in a month. But if I'm going to lose on a stock, it's going to be on a perfect setup, and it's going to be on shit price action like this, where it's just very unexpected. This is not healthy, not normal. This is what LK does. Does not surprise me that it's failing so hard because it's such a piece of shit stock. It is just not holding anything. It'll probably bounce at some point. I mean, this is probably going to bounce. This is a nice panic end of day, but I'm not going to play the bounce. It's just not worth it to me. So kind of a bummer. But this is how I managed my positions lately. I lost $300 on this play, and that's technically it's not even my max loss. Max loss is about typically 400 to 500 on a perfect setup. This is not a perfect setup. When you do see price action like this, you just tip your cap to the market and say, you know what, this is just not. I don't even know if I'm making sense, but I can live with losing on this stuff like this right here. I can live with taking losses like this. This does not happen very often on a perfect breakout setup. But a breakout that is 4 cents and then goes right back down below intraday support and all the big triggers and all where the volume is, you just can't complain too much about it. It just is what it is. So not the best start to the month, but also not a start that I'm going to be frustrated with whatsoever. Very patient, attacked my time of day, attacked my setup. Sometimes it doesn't work. And I am going to be done for the day on that. So I will catch y'all later. Peace.